What is up, my aesthetic boys? It's Fresh, back with another episode of Redacted by Words, everyone's favorite censored subreddit name. So without further ado, let's see what flames Reddit's working with today, shall we? I am completely convinced that At Church of Satan was started by atheists purely for tax exemption purposes. Well, we don't support tax exemption for religious organizations. We pay our taxes and challenge other churches to do the same. Reading our FAQ would have told you that. Now, in a quick defense of my man Mika James Bauman, it does seem like he was kind of complimenting the Church of Satan, saying that it was a bunch of people trying to outsmart the system, right? But I respect the takedown from the Church of Satan nonetheless. When telling temperature, it's important to note that C stands for correct and F stands for fake. Yeah, I think you mean C stands for can't land on the moon and F is f***ing landed on the moon. Too bad NASA uses Celsius and the metric system, so this guy just murdered himself. You know, this reminds me of a story that takes place about 20 years ago. Picture this: a lone satellite making the trek to Mars with plans to orbit, all in an effort to collect data on Mars' climate. The launch goes off without issue, and the satellite commences a 10-month journey to the Red Planet, only to navigate itself too close to the planet on arrival, where it proceeds to burn up and break into pieces, costing NASA and the Jet Propulsion Lab, who was in charge of the flight, a whopping $125 million, or almost $200 million with inflation, all because of a miscommunication between engineering teams where one was using metric units and the other was using the imperial system. I wish I was joking. All women are whores. Then why can't you have sex? All white men are potential rapists. I once refused to accept this reality. It took me hours of looking myself in the eye in the mirror, telling myself that I'm a potential rapist. Only when I learned to accept this truth could I even contemplate considering myself a feminist. Yeah, so stay away from this guy, huh? I have an appointment with my therapist this afternoon and then a massage scheduled. Trying to focus on some self-care. Now let me take a wild guess. You're a millennial. Yeah, a quick look through your history shows you could really use some mental health services as well. Get help. Yeah, thanks for respecting my privacy, jackass. It's Reddit, moron. Don't go posting toxic shit and get mad when people look at your history and call you out. You must be new to the internet. Look at your bodies, women. Breasts, ovaries, and a womb. God created you for the magnificent job of creating and nourishing new life. What can be more important than this? Using my brain to get a PhD and then educate loads of women about how they're more than just hosts for babies and servants for men? That could be more important, but hey, that's just my take on it. Having sex with one person for your whole life is like eating the same one type of food for your whole life. You know, some people don't know how to cook, some people don't know how to and some people don't know how to keep quiet, but rarely do you see someone cop to all three in one tweet. Vaccines made this iron lung obsolete. Wow, that's a f***ing sick costume. That is amazing. Like, I'm very impressed personally. But it being the internet and Facebook nonetheless, I'm sure not everyone shares that opinion. Let's take a look at the comments. What kind of teacher teaches false science? It's obvious you haven't read a study or done any research. If you did, you wouldn't be standing in that costume looking like the clown that you are. Have you read a vaccine? I can't even say with a straight face. This is like the most common phrase among any anti-vax. Have you read a vaccine insert? Have you read up on all the vaccine injury stories or death by vaccine stories? You should be ashamed for calling yourself a teacher. You're no teacher. You're a brainwasher and fearmonger. Okay, so he starts off saying, have you read a study or done any research? Then proceeds to say, have you read a vaccine insert? And have you heard any vaccine injury stories? So again, anecdotes, but, you know, who am I to say? Haven't you read a vaccine insert? Lady, I'm a doctor. No one I know has read a vaccine insert, or at least scrutinized them as closely or cite them like a goddamn Bible as much as you people have. All they are a laundry list of common ingredients found in everything products from cough syrup to fruit, and an exhaustive breakdown of every possible adverse effect under the sun to protect pharmaceuticals from litigation. It doesn't mean any of these symptoms are even remotely possible aside from the harmless rash. Nothing your dumb cult says or thinks is new information to any of us trained in the medical field. On the contrary, the more formal education one gains, the stupider anti-vaxxers seem with their pitiful Google research. Shaming a teacher for honoring science does you no credit. I hope these people don't watch medication ads on TV. Yes, for those of you outside the US, we advertise prescription drugs on TV, where half the ad is just some stock footage of generic couples doing generic activities while a soft-spoken narrator runs off a list of potential side effects, including but not limited to nausea, vomiting, headaches, fever, flu-like symptoms, depression, dry mouth, insomnia, mesothelioma, dizziness, drowsiness, internal bleeding, time travel, switching lives with your mom like in Freaky Friday, and having a Zoltar's fortune come true. Or something like that, at least. I decided to give the weird guy a chance. I agreed to a second date even though I wasn't that interested after the first. He gave me 13 orgasms last night before he even finished once. Long story short, give people a chance and you'll be surprised what you find. If this is a real situation and written by the weird guy, that poor woman had to fake her orgasms at least 13 times before the guy finally stopped. 1 star. A homeless guy has lived morning, noon, and night against the front entrance for about a year. Really makes me feel great about spending $5 on a jelly donut. Thanks for coming into the shop. We've appreciated your support over the years, even at the original one on 30th Street. I'm sorry that Ray ruined your experience on your last visit. Know that he would like you to continue buying $4 donuts from Nomad every day and doesn't want you to feel guilty about it. Our new location on University has a lot more homeless people than the original on 30th Street, and it had really been an issue until Ray started hanging out outside the shop. He keeps the problematic ones away. Yes, we've had many of those on meth, heroin, and such that I've had to almost forcibly remove from the shop, but Ray keeps them away. Ray is a former computer programmer with some physical and psychological challenges, but he's very intelligent and respectful. I speak with him almost every day. I like him. He is a part of our community. The outside of the building provides him shelter from the sun, rain, and the building slab gives warmth at night. I understand how you feel. It's not easy to look at. I know I probably lose some business, possibly yours too, because of my choice not to chase him away, but I won't. He's not looking for handouts, and he tries not to bother anyone. If you stop and talk with him, maybe you'll come to like him too. Respectfully, Redacted. Hey, wait a sec. This is wholesome content. DC Films still doesn't know what to do with Superman. The studio reportedly is unsure how to make the character, quote, relevant to modern audiences. Yeah, there really is no way to make the story of a space refugee adopted by farmers in middle America who later becomes a journalist and a hero focused on righting injustices and thwarting the schemes of a selfish billionaire relevant to modern times. Just no way. Would love to go on Facebook Live with one of you angry pro-vax commenters so you can tell me why measles is scary enough that we should beg the government to take away our bodily autonomy. Hit me up if you're down. I am a PhD candidate in microbiology and well-informed in biochemistry, pharmacology, and immunology. Let's talk autonomy. Let's talk what infectious diseases do to your epigenome, your CPG islands in your DNA that dictate your development, how it permanently alters your CNS by limiting the functions of your neurological cytochrome genomic set. Come on, Redacted. Let's f*** it up. Yeah, forget Logan Paul and KSI. This is a fight I'd pay to see. Root causes for fall of the Roman Empire. Open borders. Corrupt politicians. Loss of common language. The welfare state. Violent entertainment. Decline of morality. Decline in fertility rate. Rise in pedophilia. Unchecked debauchery. Class warfare. Unbearable taxation. Outsourcing. Trade deficits. Exploding debt. Money devaluation. Military cuts. And terrorist attacks. Yup, and history repeats itself. Oh, wow. And here I was thinking Rome fell because the Republic allowed itself to be taken over by a series of self-interested autocrats who were more interested in self-enrichment and self-promotion than in bearing the actual burdens of leadership. Lucky that A, that's not what was wrong with Rome, and B, that doesn't remind me of anyone, anyway.